Welcome everyone to this Explainer. Today we've got a truly fascinating and honestly a super profound story to unravel together. You see, when we look at the culmination of the 10 days of sacrifice, we're actually being called to look backward. I mean, all the way back. The source material we're exploring today takes us right to the very dawn of humanity, to literally the first act of ritual worship ever recorded on planet Earth. We're talking about the sons of Adam, Qabil and Habil. It's the foundational story of offering a sacrifice, right? It sets the precedent for absolutely everything that comes after it, and it holds this incredible mystery that completely reframes how we think about worship, intention, and what it really truly means to give something up.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the paradox of two brothers.
So picture this, Qabil and Habil, the sons of Adam, step forward to offer their respective sacrifices to Allah. This is a monumental moment. It is the original blueprint for ritual devotion. Two men standing on the early earth, engaging in an act designed to show their total devotion and submission. You can kind of just feel the gravity of the moment, right? They're both participating in the exact same ritual at the exact same time. It really should be a moment of shared spiritual success. But, as the source material reveals, a stark and totally unexpected division occurs right here at the very beginning of human history. As they offered their sacrifices, Allah accepted the sacrifice from one brother, and he did not accept it from the other. Just pause for a second and think about the immense tension there. Two brothers make an offering to the divine, but only one is received. It immediately sparks this huge question in our minds. What went wrong? Was one animal inherently better than the other? Was there some sort of flaw in the technique?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the absolute parody of the whole situation. On the left, they're holding the exact same blade, they're sacrificing the exact same animal. They look the same, they are literal blood brothers. Every single physical, measurable, external variable is completely identical. They're doing the exact same thing. Yet, look at the outcome on the right. The result is entirely binary. One is accepted and one is completely rejected. This striking paradox basically eliminates all of our initial guesses. It wasn't about a sharper blade, it wasn't about a larger animal, and it definitely wasn't about a difference in the outward ritual technique. The exact same physical actions yielded entirely different divine judgments.
The source material gives us a very clear, actually very blunt reason for this paradox. One brother just completely missed the point. Despite looking the exact same on the outside, despite mirroring his brother's actions flawlessly, the rejected brother fundamentally misunderstood what he was even doing. He went through all the physical motions of the ritual. He brought the animal, he held the blade, he performed the sacrifice, but he was entirely disconnected from the actual purpose of the act. It's a pretty powerful reminder that in the eyes of the divine, merely going through the motions, just checking the box of a physical ritual, is absolutely not enough. You can do everything exactly right on the outside, but if you miss the core point, the entire action is rendered completely void.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2, the missing ingredient.
So, if the physical variables were entirely the same, but the outcome was completely different because one brother missed the point, well, then we have to figure out what was lacking. What is that invisible metric that separated the accepted sacrifice from the rejected one? The source material provides a crystal clear answer. The missing ingredient is God consciousness or piety. The source explicitly states that Allah only accepts these sacrifices from people of God consciousness, from people of piety. This is the ultimate differentiator. It isn't some external action, but an essential internal state. The brother whose sacrifice was accepted possessed this deep, internal awareness and reverence. The brother whose sacrifice was rejected simply did not. The physical ritual was really just meant to be an outward manifestation of this inward reality. Without that internal state of piety, the external action of the sacrifice was entirely empty.
Listen to how the source material describes this. It is not the blood or the meat that reaches Allah. What reaches him is the piety, the God consciousness inside of you. And this brilliantly illustrates the fact that the physical elements of the ritual have absolutely no intrinsic value to the divine. The physical meat, the spilled blood, none of that travels upward, right? It doesn't reach Allah. What actually bridges the gap between the human and the divine is the internal state of the person performing the action. It is the piety inside of you that makes the journey. The physical sacrifice is just the vessel. Your God consciousness is the actual offering.
Section 3, the ultimate personal sacrifice.
Now, we've solved the historical mystery of Qabil and Habil. But let's be real, this story wasn't preserved just to give us a neat little history lesson about two brothers from the ancient past. It applies directly to us today. We have to shift our focus from the ancient past to our modern lives, to our own internal spiritual struggles. How does this whole concept of internal piety and intention
translate to the sacrifices we are being asked to make right now? Well, the lesson points to a much, much greater sacrifice than the ram. The physical act of sacrificing the animal, whether by the sons of Adam or by anyone following in that tradition today, is deeply symbolic. You are not just sacrificing the ram. The animal is essentially a stand-in. It's a physical representation of an immense internal surrender that you must undergo. Because if you focus solely on the ram, you risk becoming the brother whose offering was rejected. You have to look way past the physical animal to understand the true, abstract weight of what you are actually giving up.
The source material outlines exactly what this greater internal sacrifice truly consists of. So the crucial point is, you are sacrificing your ego. You are sacrificing your desires. You are sacrificing your attachments. Notice the rhythm and the repetition here. Ego, desires, attachments. These are the heavy internal elements that really weigh us down. Your ego, which constantly demands to be the center of the universe. Your desires, which constantly pull you toward immediate worldly gratification. Your attachments, the things in this life you feel you simply cannot live without. Honestly, sacrificing a physical animal is easy compared to the incredibly difficult, lifelong work of slaughtering your own ego and untethering yourself from your deepest worldly desires. But that is the true piety that actually reaches the divine. Which leaves us with this final, truly profound question to reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. The text summarizes the ultimate sacrifice as giving up literally anything that gets in between you and Allah. So take a hard look at your own life. What are those things for you? Is it your pride? Is it a specific material attachment? Maybe it's a desire for control or status. The story of Qabil and Habil teaches us that true worship requires us to identify these invisible barriers and offer them up entirely. We have to make absolutely sure we aren't just going through the motions on the outside, while secretly clinging to our ego on the inside. What is your true sacrifice? I'll leave you to think about that. Thank you so much for joining me, and keep seeking that deeper understanding.